Hello and welcome back. All right, by today, you should have one aim, 3 priority outcomes. You have performed an elimination audit that tells you what you're going to stop, what you're going to pause, and what you're going to adjust, do differently. And then on top of that, you should have clear personal standards that will tell you how you will operate on your worst day. These should be behavioral based, execution based, and non-negotiable. No negotiation here. Now, today is not really about what you want, it's whether your life can actually support it. Is your aim supported by the life that you live? Our time, our energy, our money, our relationships, our beliefs, they all interact with each other. So for us to reach our aim, they need to cooperate with each other seamlessly so they can be a vehicle that leads us towards our goal. Even though they're different parts of our lives, they need to work together. Just like pieces in a car work together to make the car function, we need every major area of our lives to cooperate with each other so that we can move forward towards our focus. So that's what we're looking at today. Because when one area of life is misaligned, it creates friction and drifts in the other areas. So in terms of areas of life, there are multiple principles, many thinkers who define different areas that our life should be categorized in. I'm going to go with the simplest one I could find. There are different ones that I personally use, but I think this is the simplest one that's out there. And that would be Dave Ramsey's whole life balance framework. Yeah, I think we can call it a framework. Yeah, whole life balance framework. So Dave Ramsey's framework identifies 7 key life categories, and we're going to go through each of them and think of the things that we need to look out for as we're planning our goals and setting our goals so that those things that we're looking at allow us to be aligned with our aim and support our priority outcomes for the next 90 days. Just the next 90 days. Just a reminder. Okay, so the first area, well, it's not the first, but it's the first one I choose to start with, is our career. Now, some people are entrepreneurs, some people have businesses. So when I say career, I mean everything that involves the professional realm. So that's your career, that's your business, that's entrepreneurship, that's coaching. So everything that goes into that bucket. And the idea here is to question ourselves and ask ourselves, does our current work structure support our priority outcomes? So we're looking at things like our roles and responsibilities, our workloads, our growth opportunities, all those things in our professional lives. Do they support our primary aim? Will they allow us to achieve our primary aim? And will they allow us to be focused on our primary priority outcomes? So support looks like working hours that allow you to do your work and then take care of hobbies and take care of personal growth and focus on other areas of your life after work or before work. Support looks like having a role or a career that you're excited about and that contributes to your personal satisfaction, your personal growth, and keeps you satisfied and enthusiastic about waking up each day and having that role as part of your purpose. If the professional part of your life does not support your main aim, then you have working hours that distract you and drain you, a working environment that creates animosity or fear or disappointment. It also looks like being constantly pulled away from your aim. Like your professional life doesn't fit into your aim. It's a separate area of your life that just doesn't go hand in hand with your primary aim. Now, for some people, it kind of works because they want to have a professional life and then they want to be able to do something completely different. But it should still kind of cooperate. Either your hours should allow you to do that, and if you need to have that work aspect and then your life needs to be completely different so you don't mix work and life together, that's fine. But what you're doing at work should contribute to your aim. It should contribute to who you're looking to become. It should contribute to the destination you're trying to reach. So if that's the case, if you're able to tell yourself that your current work structure supports your primary aim, then you're in a good spot. If not, then there are adjustments that you need to make so that your attention isn't constantly pulled away from your primary aim. So that is our career, professional, business, entrepreneurial life. The second one is our financial life. That's an area where everybody's kind of like, my finances. I think all of us want to be rich. All of us want to be millionaires and billionaires. All of us want to be the next, I don't know, Elon Musk. Maybe not Elon Musk himself, just the amount of money he has. Or all of us want to have as much money as Bill Gates. Well, maybe not. I would not want to be that rich. I don't want to cut off my blessings, but they got a lot of money to manage. I would love to have a lot of money, but I don't know. I feel like there's a point where you have too much money, and then I just want to have enough money to take care of myself, take care of my family, take care of the next generation to come, because as Christians, God tells us that we should be blessing up to the 4th generation. Feel that pressure. And I just want to have enough to fulfill the purpose I was sent on earth for, and not be limited by the amount of money I have. But I also don't want to have so much money that I feel like I can replace God with my money, because I can buy or do anything I want. Anyways, that was a side conversation. So the question we want to ask ourselves with our money is whether our money habits create friction or support, whether we have less stress as a result of our money habits, or if we have more stress. So what we're going to consider here is how we spend, how much we owe, how much we think about money. And do we think of it as a problem? Does it stress us out to think about money? Does money get us excited? Do we feel empowered? Do we feel weak? So what is our mindset when it comes to money? And how is it reflected in our habits and our daily life? So does our financial life support our aim or not? Yesterday I talked about loving to shop. I love to shop. I love to dress. I love to feel good in my skin. I love for the way I dress, the way I speak, what I wear, whether it's clothing, shoes, bags, jewelry. I love for it to actually be a true reflection of who I am, what I like, and what's important to me. So I enjoy shopping. I enjoy finding out how to put an outfit together. I love seeing how colors work together, but my spending has to be aligned with my priorities. That's why I said that I recently decided to stop going to the mall and spend hours going from store to store, because I know what I want to get in each store, and to either shop online with one focus in mind, because I don't like online shopping. So being able to have one store in mind, one item in mind, knowing how it's going to fit me because I'm used to that brand, and just purchasing it online. If I'm not doing that, just going to a store for one specific aim. Even if I end up wandering around, it's fine if I'm only going to one store, because there's only so much you can look at in a store. So that's one of the ways that I am trying to align my financial life with my primary aim. And then it's what you invest in. So investing in like books, coaching, clubs, social networks, like things like that. If it's important to you because it supports your aim, these are things that you can do to support it. I know I said something that kind of seems like the same thing, but you just got to know what your primary aim is and how your finances are going to support it. So if your friend comes and talks about a trip to India, I got a friend who's talking to me about a trip to India. You can talk to me about that trip, girl. It's fine. You can come to me with that trip. But I have to have the discipline to say that that trip is not aligned with my priorities right now. So I got a couple friends who want to travel this year. I love to travel, but I have priorities. And I would love to enjoy this time with them, but I already know what it's going to cost me, and I know what my priorities are this year. So I will not be going on those trips, although it sounds fun. And that's what we got to do, because me reaching my purpose, me fulfilling my purpose this year and going forward and moving forward with my goal, my primary aim, is more important to me than a 10-day vacation in Canada. So unless somebody wants to pay for my trip, no, I'm not say that. The third one is the physical area. Now, what goes into that is so many things. It's not just losing weight. It's knowing where you're at in the phase of life you're in. As you get older, there are things that you need to do. Are you taking your multivitamins? Your body cannot produce, because the food that we have nowadays is different. So we need to take our multivitamins every day. How many times are you eating out? And so the physical aspect isn't just about our bodies and how our bodies look. It's also our minds. Are we getting enough sleep? Are we putting the right nutrients into our bodies? Are we noticing signs of misalignment in our bodies? That's the physical aspect. So we got to consider all these things. So support looks like being able to show up consistently, being able to stay focused, being able to stay disciplined, being healthy enough, both in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, to operate daily. Some people are so spiritually burdened that they can't think. Some people have migraines that keeps them from doing their job. Some people have really bad habits that don't align with what they're trying to become or what they're trying to do. The fourth one is the intellectual aspect. So that's the knowledge and skills that we're building, and if it's working towards our purpose. There is nothing wrong with wanting to learn how to sew, but if you're not going to dedicate the amount of time it takes to sew, then you're kind of wasting your time if you're only taking one lesson per quarter. You might as well stop, because by the end of the year, you'll have taken 4 lessons, and it's not really going to move you anywhere. It's not going to move you towards your purpose and your aim. So in terms of knowledge and skills that we're learning and building, are they aligned with the purpose that we have? So that's what it is. Are we building the skills and acquiring the knowledge that we need to move forward and towards our goals and not backwards? So that's what we consume on a daily basis. There is nothing wrong with browsing through Instagram, but if we're spending 4 hours looking at funny Instagram content, then there's a problem, because we should not be spending that amount of hours, first of all, on Instagram, and second of all, watching funny videos. I'm paraphrasing, but the Bible tells us that we can do everything, but everything is not profitable. So are we doing things that are profitable to us? Are we doing things that are profitable to our purpose and to our aim? That's important, to make sure that what we're doing is profitable, not just to others, but to us. So you have to choose what it is you want to learn for this season you're in and how it contributes to your growth and where you're trying to go in life. So that's the 4th area that we need to consider. The 5th one is the spiritual. Now, I'm a Christian, so for me, anything spiritual is what involves God. Am I doing things on a daily that draw me closer to God? Or am I doing things that draw me away from him, away from his word, away from the principles he's taught me, away from the lessons he's taught me, away from what I know to be his will and desires for my life? Now, beyond just doing things and considering God, this is also your values. Your belief system is your inner clarity, is your sense of purpose. So when you wake up in the morning, do you have a sense of why you're here? Each of us is on earth for a purpose. Each of us was sent here to do something. No matter how big or small it is, we were sent here to do something. So do you wake up in the morning with a small sense? It doesn't have to be totally clear to you, but do you have a tiny sense of why you're here? And I want to limit this too, because right now we're only looking at 90 days. Do you have a sense of what your purpose is for the next 90 days? Let's not even look at 2026, because that can be overwhelming for some people. Just the next 90 days, when you wake up in the morning, do you have clarity as to what you want to see your life become? Who you want to see in the mirror? Your sense of purpose, your inner clarity. You got to have so much inner clarity, so much inner peace, that no matter what people tell you, you're able to take a step back and think about who you are, what you want to see happen in your life, and how you're going to go about it. That's inner clarity. Because when you don't have inner clarity, then you have this internal conflict with who you are, what you're building, and what people expect from you, or what you think they expect from you. And you need to be able to have a place where you are at peace. And if it's not inside of you, if your mind is not at peace, you can't go anywhere else. And then you have to have a sense of purpose, because having that sense of purpose, we talked about that last week with the burning desire. There is something that should give you a burning desire. There's something that should make you feel alive. You should have a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning that drives you forward and that creates a burning desire inside of you every day when you wake up. If you don't, think about what that thing should be. Ask God. He will tell you. He will, because he's probably in it, and he's probably one of the things that you should be burning for. If you're not, then he's gonna tell you why, and he's gonna show you how to have a burning desire for him. Anyways, let me not start preaching here. So the 6th aspect is the relational aspect. So that's your family, your friends, your closest environment. Or, well, it doesn't have to be close, because it's just your environment. So the environments that you put yourself in. So that is who you interact with in the environments that you're in. So you got to look at communication, you got to look at expectations. We talked about the things we want to stop, things we want to pause, the things we want to adjust. So people's expectations of us might need to be modified, because we cannot sustain everybody's expectations as we're trying to reach a specific goal. Another aspect of this area is boundaries. I'm not even going to talk about that, because there's so many people talking about boundaries. It's important to have healthy boundaries, but I feel like it's also important to have balanced boundaries. But I'm not a psychologist, so I will not talk about that further. May not all know how to enforce boundaries, but we all kind of know that we need to have certain boundaries. So think about what your boundaries are. Think about the relationships where boundaries need to be enforced, the ones where boundaries need to be tightened up a little bit. Do the environments you're in support your aim? Do you have emotional support? Yesterday I talked about having an accountability partner. So an accountability partner is there for emotional support in the sense that they will remind you what you decided you wanted to do and remind you that you got to put the work in. So having a relational area that supports our aim looks like having emotional support, having understanding, having good boundaries, getting encouragement. And the opposite would look like having unspoken expectations from people, having unspoken expectations of people, doing things that drain time and energy, money sometimes. We got to look at that. And the last aspect is the social life, which kind of goes in line with the relational because our environments are made up of people. They're not made up of things. They're not made up of trees. They're made up of people. So I would say that the relational and social aspect kind of go hand in hand. So here we got to think about peer influence. How are others influencing you? Are they influencing you in a way that supports your aim or not? Are the people in your environment respective of your standards? Do they help you keep your standards, or do they actually force you to lower your standards? We also got to think about the time that we spend socializing. Are we spending every single weekend outside, being outside? So support looks like people who normalize growth. They understand the season you're in, and they understand how they can support you in that season. They understand what they need to scale back on to not be a distraction for you in that season. So that's what we're looking at. Now that we have an idea of each of the areas in life where we need to see cooperation so that our primary aim, our purpose, our goals, our priority outcomes can all work together and move us forward, now your homework is to go back and look at those areas and assess whether they are supporting or not your primary aim. So figure out if each area is supporting your primary aim and primary outcomes. That's your homework for today. And we are done.